So let's begin. Again, the bow recipe for this gorgeous bow is the large hand. We're working on row D. I have fingers set up at center finger, fingers 1 right and left, fingers 2 right and left, fingers 3 right and left, and then you can use your 4 tall dowels because I'm going to be using 4-inch ribbon, and you're going to put one in at 4 and 5 right and left. So that's your bow recipe. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start with our little black and white ribbon. I love this ribbon, it's one of my favorites. And again, we're going to have a tail. We're going to have a tail on our little bow, so you're just going to pull out however much ribbon you want as your little tail, and I think this is going to be plenty. Okay, I'm going to pinch. I'm going to start with a little pinch there, just kind of to get it started. Open it up, and I'm just going to set it over my dowel, and I'm just going to pinch here because I want a pretty little pinch. I'm going to just kind of start with my pinch. You always want to make a nice little pinch, and you see that that's all you do is just take your ribbon there. I'm going to set it over. I'm going to set it here under my dowel, and at the halfway point, never go down to the bottom. It just doesn't work well that way. You come to your halfway point, and I'm going to take my 26 gauge wire. Okay, 26 gauge wire. I'm going to put it under, and I'm just going to come around. See how I'm coming? And I just usually do it this way. I come from the right, and I just go over, pull it tight. See how I pulled it tight? Let me zoom in there so you can see that. See how I just pulled that piece of wire tight, and I'm going to bring it up, and now I'm attaching this to the bow maker. Okay? And you always go up, and you do clockwise. And bring your piece of wire to the top. Leave a little piece so you can get that off quickly at the end. Take the other little piece of wire and go around the nail. Just once, that's all that's needed. And so you can get that off quickly at the end. Leave yourself a little loop. See how you can see how that looks there? There's your little loop. And here's your wire here at the top. And then measure your ribbon. Let's go out. Measure your ribbon however long you want your tail, and cut it, and we're done. That's our center piece of this is our center ribbon. This is our center loop. And now this is very important, and I've done it both ways. I've done it where I left my tails down. This is just does not fluff pretty that way. It's very important now that you split this and put it up at the top. Just like if you were making a terry bow, okay? Just move your tails up. So you see, that's how it looks to start. Super simple, absolutely nothing to it, okay? So that's how we start. That's our first ribbon. Okay, now our second ribbon. Again, all you have to do is just roll out however long you think you would like your tail. So there I go. That looks about right. And now I'm going to pinch. Just going to start my little pinch, and I'm going to now use my helping hand wire. And I have to use a helping hand wire because now I have to have some way to attach this together. So this is my second piece of wire. I always call it my little helping hand. And the way you want to do this, you see how you see your center loop? There's your center loop. Just drop the piece of wire through the center loop because you want to catch all of the ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to drop it through here, and I'm going to pull. See, I'm pulling it straight. That's dead center of my bow. Okay, so now I have my piece of wire in position. I'm going to pinch my piece of ribbon and just wire it in, and I'm just going to go up and down. Let me zoom in there so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just wiring that in. You see how I've taken my piece of wire? I've just gone up and down. You can go around if you like. That's up to you. But you don't want to do it any more than that because you just don't want to stack up your whole stack of your bow full of wire. That's all you need. This is just holding your ribbon in place for now. Let's get this tail. out of the way, and we're going to go over fingers one, right and left, twice. So drop it over. There you go. Here's your pinch. You see how I come in sideways? I'm always keeping the bottom edge of my ribbon in sight because I'm going to do bottoms up. There's my bottom edge of my ribbon in sight. There's my pinch. And y'all, it's just a little half twist. That's all. You can leave your thumb there if you would like to hold that in place. I always do it like this. It's a smooth, easy glide, and you're going to drop it over. Okay? And that's it. And then now, I'm coming here. See how I come in sideways? I'm pinching to my finger, bringing the bottom edge of my ribbon up. Okay? Like this. Smooth, easy glide. Drop it over the second time. Now I'm going to come back to my finger. There's my pinch. There's my little twist. It's a half twist. Just go halfway. You're just bringing the bottom edge of the ribbon up. The reason why you're doing that is because your ribbon from your hands to your spool holder, it'll keep your ribbon from twisting. And of course, you don't want twisted ribbon. So that's that. Here's my finger. Bottom edge of the ribbon to my finger. There is my pinch. There is my twist. You see how I brought the bottom edge of my ribbon up? And that's what you want. Now I'm ready to use my helping hand wire because I'm going to cut this ribbon now. I've made 2 loops both ways. I need to cut it. So I'm going to wire this off. See how tight I can make that? See how tight? I can just make that really tight. Okay? And that's what you want to do. Okay? And then kind of measure them. I want them about the same. I usually do one a little bit longer than the other. I just like how it looks to do it that way. Just a little bit longer. And now I'm going to put this up here just like you were doing a terry bow. You're just going to put it up at the top, and just please take my word for it. I've done it both ways many, many times. Your bow will fluff prettier if you do it this way. Putting your bows, your tails up. It just works better. Okay, our next ribbon. I'm going to now add this beautiful, I just love this ribbon. I like this because it has the 2 shades of green in it, and I had 2 shades of green in my sign, and so I just love it. And then now I'm adding a little black, and we all know how incredibly popular black is, and I thought this was just the perfect combination, so that's why I like it. So anyway, I want to make sure I go just a tad longer. Okay, there's my pinch, and y'all, this is all there is to it. Put your ribbon in place. Use your little piece of wire. You see how I just went around like, get this now out of your way. Maybe I need to come out just a tad. Just put this up here at the top. And now I am going to make, I'm going to go to fingers 2, 3 times. Because that's how much I want this ribbon to show in this particular bow. So here we go. Smooth, easy glide with my hand. Drop it over. Let's get this out of the way for now. See my finger? There's the bottom edge of the ribbon to my finger. There's the pinch. And there's the little half twist. You can put your thumb there and hold it if you'd like. Smooth, easy glide. Let that ribbon slide through your fingers. Never have cramped hands again. Finger here. There's the pinch, half twist. That's all there is to it. Drop it over. Y'all, how simple can this be? To my finger. There's my pinch. There's my twist. See how it moved a little bit? I can adjust it. I just pushed it down a little bit. I'm going to hold my thumb there. See I'm going to use my finger? It's just let it slide. And you see how I'm just popping that off the end of my finger? That's all it is. Drop it over. Just drop it over. There it goes. Coming back for the 3rd time. There's my pinch. There's my twist. Drop it over. Pinch, twist, drop it over. Don't you just love that spool holder? You can just hear that ribbon just gliding right off of that spool holder. Never have twisted ribbon, never have spools running all over the place. And now I'm going to use my helping hand wire again each time whenever I'm finished, because I'm going to cut this now. I'm done with this ribbon. I'm going to cut it, so I need to wire this off. I'm using my helping hand wire really tight, just once around. That's all that's necessary. That's all that's necessary. You just want to hold that ribbon in place. That's all you're doing. And then I'm going to kind of eyeball that. That's enough. Just going to cut that off. Look, boy, I just left a really long tail there. That's fine. Okay. And see, now look how neat, look how incredibly neat that looks. What is incredibly important is every time you put the pinch and the twist right on top of the one before. You never travel up and down the base finger. It's incredibly important, it's just a must, that you put each twist right on top of the one before it. And you're creating the stack of the bow. That's what's incredibly hard about making bows in your hand, is you can't keep that stack straight in your hand. Okay? So now we're just creating the stack of the bow. Incredibly easy. So that's that one. Now we're going to put another 1.5 inch ribbon in this bow, and I want quite a long tail. So there we go. I'm going to roll it and then put it here. How many times let me look at my picture to remind myself. I did this 3 times also. So there's my tail, there's my long tail. So look, I just pulled some ribbon out. Okay, and I'm just going to wire it in. And look, I'm just going to go around once. That's all. And I'm holding that ribbon in place. That's all it is. Get this out of your way for now. Same thing. Just do the same thing. It's just a couple of hand movements. You do the same thing over and over, and then you have a beautiful bow. Okay, let's turn this. Let me put this out that way. Drop it over. Here's my finger. Bottom edge of ribbon to my finger. See how I come in sideways? Always keeping the bottom edge of that ribbon in sight, because there's my pretty little pinch. It's a half twist. Bring that bottom edge up. Here's my finger. Smooth, easy glide. Drop it over. Nothing to it. Just make sure that with your helping hand wires, make sure that you keep them in sight, because you're working between the wires. Okay? Finger here. Bottom edge of ribbon to my finger. See how I'm coming in sideways? I'm keeping the bottom edge in sight. There's my pinch. There's my little half twist. It's just a little half twist. You're bringing the bottom edge up. That's all there is. Drop it over. Finger here. Bottom edge of ribbon to my finger. There's the pinch. There's the twist. There's my thumb. Smooth, easy glide with my finger, and drop it off. Just drop it over, and here we are. Now, because this ribbon has these beads on it, this is wanting to really move on me. You see how you could see that? That's really wanting, let me do it with this hand. You see how this is really wanting to come up? Well, what I can do, because this is beaded ribbon, it's wanting to really move on me, so I can just take my helping hand wire. See what I just did? See with my helping hand wire, you see how I pull that back down, and I'm just controlling my ribbon. I'm just going to go around it once. That's all. See how now I've kept total control of the stack of my bow. Okay, and this is beaded ribbon. It wants to really move on me, so I'm going to control it right there. Okay, let's do that. There's my pinch and the twist. This is my 3rd time around. Finger here, bottom edge of ribbon to my finger. There's my pinch. There's my twist. I'm going to hold it in place with my thumb. Finger here. See how I'm just popping it right off the end of my finger? Drop it over. Here's my pinch and my twist. And now, again, getting my helping hand wire and just tying this off. See how tight I can keep the stack of my bow. And I'm doing that each time I'm going around. And that's how this should look. Okay, there's the stack of your bow. There's all the different ribbon you've used. And look at this. See how neat that is? I've just made sure that you see how you can see the bottom there? See how you can see that? And then you can see the top. Every pinch and twist is directly on top of the one before. That's going to give you a perfect bow. And then this is the stack of your bow forming. Okay? And then cut some off long, however long you want your tail. I wanted this to go almost to the bottom of my wreath, so that's why I'm cutting my tail so long. Okay? And see all of that? It's just out of your way. It's just fine. Okay, now we're going to use our 4-inch ribbon. And look, I'm going to move it over here. I'm going to move it to here, to this spot. Okay, look at our beautiful 4-inch ribbon, and look at the back side. Isn't that fabulous? So here's my pinch. And it's 4-inch ribbon, and this is really crinkly ribbon. I love it. Look how I'm taking this ribbon, and you see how I formed it. I am fluffing my bow already. I know that I want this to open really pretty, so I made my pinch, and I'm kind of fluffing this out already. I made a really pretty pinch to start with, okay? And so I'm going to sit it in place and wire it in tightly, and I'm just going to go around once. Put this tail out of your way for now. Okay. Now, because this is 4-inch ribbon, I use kind of both hands. I mean, if you can maneuver it that way and use it and do it off the tip of your finger, that's perfectly fine. So just get it over that dowel. Let me turn here so you can see, and make sure you see well. I'm going to pull my ribbon around, bringing it to the bottom edge, and I'm making a really pretty pinch. See how I'm making my pretty pinch there? And there's my half twist. I'm going to leave my thumb there. This is really, y'all, this is really stiff. So it takes a little bit more effort. Drop it over. And there you go. And there's your pinch and your twist in place. Okay. And here we are. I've made two loops. I made one to the right, one to the left. So we got 2 loops so far. I want 3 loops total. If this moves on you with this 4-inch ribbon and this far out in your stack, if you want to, you can use your helping hand wire and really tighten that up and tighten it each time if you want to. If you want to, if you think you can control this ribbon and control the stack of your bow, you can tie it off each time if you would like. Okay? So here, let's go. We're going to go over this dowel one more time to my finger. Here's my pinch. See how I'm carefully pinching up my ribbon? I'm making a real pretty little pinch there. And see how I'm fluffing already? You see how I'm making sure that, you see how that's going up and that's going down? And that's kind of a fluff already. I'm starting how that is going to open up, okay? I'm going to keep my thumb here to hold it in place, and I am just going to drop this over, and you can use 2 hands here because this is 4-inch ribbon, and drop that over. Look, I'm going to come back here and pull this in place, get this all lined up. Did you see how I just dropped it over? That's just holding my ribbon for me, okay? You see, this is kind of wanting to move on me a little bit. That's okay. You could tie it off again if you want to, but I'm going to be okay. But you could tie it off again if you would like. But here's my pinch and my twist. There's my pinch and my twist. This is really stiff, crinkly ribbon. So I'm kind of having to work with it a bit, but that's okay. I love it. See how I've gone over? Let the bow maker, let the hand hold everything for you. See how this is wanting to kind of pull up on me? That's okay. Just take your fingers and kind of move it back down. You want this to come straight out. And I am going to, there's my pinch and twist, and I'm going to tie this off again, just to show you that you can. Okay? See my helping hand wire? I'm controlling this ribbon. I'm making this ribbon stay where I want it to be. And I just went around once. That's all that's necessary. Okay? again, there you can see the stack. See? And look how deep the stack of the bow is getting. It's just fine. Y'all see how it just kind of sticks out here? That is just fine. This is exactly how this is supposed to look at this point. And there you go. That's how it looks. And it's all perfectly fine. Now, I'm going to make my last. There's my last loop. Oh my goodness. I've run out of ribbon. This wasn't enough. Okay, let's see. Let me see if I have enough to go around. I thought I had enough. And there's the pinch. Well, I have enough to finish. I won't have a tail on one side, but that's okay. This is for demonstration purposes. So there's my pinch and my twist. I don't have enough for the tail on the other side. Oh, I thought I was going to make it. Okay, and here's my helping hand wire. Okay, and you see how that's there? And just go around. And now everything is held in place. And we're just going to play like that's a long tail that's left, okay? So, if I had another roll of this ribbon, I would just tie it in at this point. But this is all of this that I had. But this is going to be okay. This is just a demonstration, so this is going to be fine. It's still going to work. So anyway, this is how this is supposed to look. Just play like that's a whole long tail. So that's how it's supposed to look at this point. And look how incredibly easy that is. Okay, so the next thing that you want to do, and y'all, again, from experience, I always pull my tails down now because this is a lot of tails, okay? And I just find it easier just to control all of this now. So let's play like that this was a tail. Okay, so let's get that pulled down. And then here we go. Here's my tail. I'm pulling it down. Okay, let's come to the next one, which is this. Let's get it, pull it down, and pull this down. It's just easier. Like I said, I've done this both ways many, many times, and I just find it much easier to control all this ribbon at this point. Okay, and you see, look how easy this is. This is just incredibly easy, and I just noticed something. I didn't tie off that. I didn't tie the ribbon off, but that's okay. See how it's okay. Let me go ahead and do it. I was getting ahead of myself, but you see how I can just open that back up. Let's get in here and tie this off. I didn't tie off my last wire. Let's do that. Get that really tight, tie that off. Okay. See, even the bow lady gets ahead of herself. So let's get that up. Put that there. Put this here. Put this back. What was next? Then this. Then this. Then this. Then this. Okay, so there it is. See how it's just easier. Look how all of my ribbon now is controlled. There's all my tails. That's all the tails to my bow. And I'm going to go ahead because I find this easier too. Since you know we're going to roll these, I'm going to go ahead and roll them. I roll them at this point also. I just find it easier. And then once you've taken this bow off, and if you've put it on your wreath or something, then you'll adjust your tails. But I just kind of roll them up a lot to kind of control them and get them out of the way. Like I said, you're going to take this off and put it on your wreath. And I just find it easier and easier to control all of this ribbon and control your tails, and then be able to put them where you want them to be. Okay. I cut this one kind of long, but I am going, that's okay. I'm going to trim that. I just wanted to make sure I gave myself enough. Okay, and you can see in the wreath that I pull these tails almost all the way down to the bottom. And just roll them up. See how I'm rolling this up? Now you can see already how much easier if you roll these tails up at this point. Boy, I really cut this one kind of long. That's okay. And I do apologize for running out of ribbon, but I just wanted to get this done, and I don't have any other 4-inch ribbon to use. I would have if I'd have had any other, but I don't. But this will give you you'll still get the total effect of how to do this. So anyway, just play like you have a second tail, okay? So that's how this all should look at this point. And you see how now I'm controlling, let's see, that's the biggest shot I have. You see how I'm controlling all these tails, and they're kind of rolled up already. I'm gonna pull my center dowel out, and this is gonna loosen this up, and look, it's just gonna pop right off. And there's your bow. There is the bow. Okay. Now at this point, you can either attach this to your wreath and fluff it, or attach it to your fluff box, which is how I do it. I like to kind of get my bow set, but you don't have to have a fluff box. You could just attach it to your wreath at this point and fluff it on your wreath if you would like. I just prefer to kind of control my bow first and do it on the fluff box, so that's what I'll do now. So here's the fluff box. I am going to attach my wreath, my bow to my fluff box. I'm sorry, not my wreath, my fluff box. Okay. I love the fluff box. I will not open a bow without my fluff box. I just prefer it that way. Okay, so here we go. It's attached, and I'm going to kind of just move my tails out of the way, and I'm going to come in and start just placing my loops where I want them. And on this type of bow, I always start at the bottom. Oh man, I'd give anything if I had more of this ribbon. I tried to get some more, but everybody's out. But this is just fabulous ribbon. And look how with this you can peek inside and you can see the green. It's just fabulous looking. And you see how I've already set, see how easy that is? If you're using your fluff box, you see how I've just set these loops just exactly how I want them. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to just fluff these. I'm going to pull this around the top. You see with using, let me turn so you can see what I'm doing here. With using the fluff box, you see how I can take these ribbons now and I can pull them, and I'm using 2 hands, and you see how I pull them right in place, and I'm placing these ribbons right where I want them to be. And it's so much easier using 2 hands. See how I've pulled them around where I want them? Now I'm going to come back with my next row. I want some of this black up here. I'm going to set these 3 kind of between these little red ones. I just love this little red with these beads on it. I just love it. Okay. And see how I've just swung them around and I've set them right where I wanted them. Then my next 2. See how incredibly easy this is if this is attached to the fluff box. You can use both hands. You're pulling. And you can see, y'all can tell by how I'm doing that. I mean, I'm pulling. Take control of your ribbon and put it where you want it to go. And now this is my one little center loop, and I'm going to set it. I'm just going to kind of open it pretty, and there's half of the bow. There is half of this bow fluffed. Y'all, how incredibly easy is this? And there's half. And you see how I've just put this ribbon using my fluff box. I've set it on my fluff box, and I have just opened this bow and put this ribbon exactly where I want it to be. Okay, see how that looks? Let's do the other side. Let's kind of get the tails out the way. Okay. See how I can do this using 2 hands, because this bow is tied down. It is anchored down to this fluff box, and I can just shape this bow. I'm fluffing and I'm shaping all at the same time. So there's my 3 big loops. Now my next one was the little red with the beads. See how I can just pull this around? I'm just pulling this around where I want it to be. Just placing it where I want it to be. I'm gonna, here's my little, the little black. Just gonna place one there. Place one there. I'm just kind of setting this black in between the little red. Okay. You can foo-foo with it some more after you get it up on your wreath. Okay. Now here we go. This is the loops that was on finger 1. Just opening that. I love this little ribbon with the little boots. And then again, there's the little center. That's the center. And y'all, that's it. That is all there is to this. Y'all, this is incredibly easy to do. Just incredibly easy. And there's your bow. Let's see. I'm going to have to pull because this bow is big. Let me kind of set this because I'm going to hold this up. Okay, so I am going to kind of, this is going to, my tails, I want them to kind of go right and left, and this is going to go on top of this one. And then this one, I kind of set my tails like I use them, and you'll see in the picture of how they looked once they were on the wreath. And again, I do apologize, but there's the one tail. I really thought I had enough ribbon. I dropped it on the floor actually and just let it roll out, and I was like, oh, that looks like a whole lot. And I really thought I had enough to make it, but you get the idea. Let's roll this up some. I'm probably gonna, this is a little bit too long. Let's cut a little bit of that off. But you could, that's all decisions you can make. This, once you get it up, this one was a little bit long too. Once you get this on your wreath, you can decide just how long you want your tails to be. And so there's that one there. Let me cut this one off too, a little bit, so you can kind of see. But you can look at the picture of the wreath and you can see how I set the tails. And so there it is. And just incredibly easy. And there's all the wonderful tails minus one. But there's all the wonderful, there's all your wonderful ribbon. Incredibly easy to do with Pro Bow the hand. You just tie it all in, stack it, open it. There's your long tails, all done. I hope you've enjoyed this. Enjoy your Pro Bow. Thank y'all so much. Bye for now.
The same way you did the other.